Hello, 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 it's Kerbanaut here. Nice to see you all today. Yes, hello. Today we're going to be doing another episode of the Olympus space station because, well, I haven't done one in a while, and I figure we need to get it done because we're not going to get anything done just sitting here and thinking it should be done, should we? No. Okay, right. So, in this episode, I'm launching up two modules. The first one is this one, which is my own. It's not as much a module as it is just an expansion pack. I'm just going to stick it on the end of the Space Station core so that we get ourselves more room for the actual module that's going to be launched up today. Now, why are we doing that? Well, all the docking ports were all together and close up and very, very close together, and when you're launching up big things and docking big things to small things, and you've got lots of big things, they tend to batter into each other and they can't fit. And so I'm worried that it's not going to look as much as a space station than it is more of just a hunk of metal floating in the sky. And that's never good, is it? No, hunk of metal floating in the sky, not a good idea. So, yeah, we're launching up this thing to give us some more room for the module today. Now, you'll notice that maybe my speech, the way you hear me has changed. It sounds a bit better. It does. Unfortunately, it's not going to sound like that forever. It's just going to sound like that for today, and maybe if I can get another episode done within the week. That's because I'm using a microphone, and this microphone is not hooked up to my computer, which is creating all the crackling, but is in fact hooked up to an SD card, and the SD card inside it records the audio, and then I can transfer that over to the computer, and so it's just a lot clearer, and you don't get this annoying hiss in the background, which is brilliant, and it makes my voice sound a lot more deep and sensual. Yeah, baby. No, okay, sorry, that was a bit too far. That baby was just over the line, wasn't it? Yeah, so here you can see me just casually doing stuff. I think I've got into orbit now, yes, and I'm doing my kind of plane change at some point now. Yeah, I think I'm doing my plane change right now. So yeah, here we go. We're going to hop around and we're going to do our plane change. And that's just getting to the ascending node and pointing south, which is 180 degrees on the nav ball, and then burning until the blue line meets the yellow line, which means the two orbits are aligned, and that's quite good. Usually, when you're trying to dock, it's good when you're in the same orbit. And once we do that, I happen to just decide to, get close, because, again, that's usually what you want to do when you're docking. So, well, we get close, and that's all good and well and fine, and yeah, that's all I can really say. It's just the normal docking procedure, so, in fact, I can walk you through that. Docking procedure is you launch up your ship, and you get it into an orbit which is around the same height as your target orbit. So say if your target is 100 kilometers, your orbit wants to be at around 100 kilometers. Now, this is the point where you have to look at the two vessels and figure out where they are. If your vessel, the one you're wanting, if you're behind your target, in the orbit, what you want to do is you want to go on the inside, which means you want to come lower in your orbit so that you orbit faster, and that will allow you to catch up. Surprise, surprise, going faster means you catch up. Wow. But yeah, and if you're ahead of it, you want to go higher, which means you go slower in your orbit, meaning that you slow down, and so it catches up with you. And you want to also select it as a target. No, let me just cut out for the docking procedure for a second here and tell you about what's happening here. You might have noticed, burping, man alive, I've recorded this twice, and each time I've burped. Anyway, you saw there, I took off the roll cage as such. I had a roll cage on it, which means that the struts didn't need to be attached to the thing itself, so they didn't leave any of these annoying wee bits floating, not floating, but just on my expansion pack, and they didn't, because I had this roll cage. But the downside to that is there's going to be a ton of debris now floating in space. But hey, what can we do? I'll probably do an episode in which I clean up the debris, or not. I don't know. It's a space station we are building here. I don't think that we. Well, we can see it, because it's not a let's play or anything. So I don't think debris really matters, does it? I mean, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think I should clean up the debris, or should I just delete it? Because deleting is a bit cheaty. and maybe it would be fun to make a ship to clean up all the debris, or maybe I could just do that in my Legend of Kethane, Kethane, Legend of Kethane. Sorry. Episodes. So I mean series. I could do that there. Anyway, so yeah, here we go. We're using RCS to try and be smart when we're not being smart. So I just fail dramatically at being smart. And so I have to do the old, like I think I'm killing the relative velocity, and I'm like pointing towards the target, the good old-fashioned way that's tried and tested, So I do that, and I get in close, and I dock. And so while I'm doing that, I'm going to walk you through the rest of the docking procedure, which I had to, stop because I was talking about this. Right, okay, so once you are in the same planes, and you're in your phasing orbit, which means you're in a lower, higher orbit, and once you get close enough to it, what you want to do is you want to change your little nav ball setting to target. If you click on that, it will change from orbital to surface and to target, depending on whether or not you have a target selected. Now, when you are in orbital view, you will see your orbital trajectory. So it'll show you your orbital prograde and retrograde. If you're on surface, it'll show your surface prograde and retrograde. Now the difference between those two is that on the surface, the planet or moon is rotating, and so if you go into orbital view, it'll show you the rotation of the planet as well in your velocity markers, as opposed to the surface view, which only shows your velocity relative to the surface. But then, if you switch over to target, it gives you your velocity relative to your target, which is great when docking. So you switch that to target, and it then shows your velocity relative to your target. And once you have that, you can then stop yourself relative to the target. So you then burn retrograde relative to the target. You do this when you're within maybe 1 kilometer or something. So you do want to get a nice close encounter with it before you start doing this. So you want to burn retrograde relative to your target, and then once you've killed all relative velocity, you want to point towards your target. Now that's the pink circle with a dot in the middle, not the pink cross. The pink cross is your retro target, as it were. So you point towards the target marker, and you burn prograde. Well, you burn, and that'll bring your prograde marker to the target. And if you think about it, that means that you're going in the direction of your target, which is good. It means you're going towards your target, which is always, it's a good idea. So you'll get closer, but sometimes what will happen is it will be a wee bit off. So you'll get this annoying wee thing where it will be kind of dodgy, and you'll miss it. And so you have to burn retrograde, and again, point towards your target, and do that again. Just repeat that process until you get close enough, and then you do your actual docking, in which you just select the docking port as your target and repeat the process. It does help if you're parallel to it, but all's good and well when you go through that process. Right, that's just a quick overview, but let's have a look at this now. Now we've docked that on, we're looking at the actual module itself. Now, this module is called the DryDock, and it's submitted by TheAndrewTaco over the forums. Thank you very much, Andrew, or TheAndrewTaco, however you want it to be called, for the submission. It's really nice. I do love it. I chose it because it's got few parts, and it's simple, it's very nice, and, well, we need somewhere to dock these space planes, right? I mean, what's the point of a space station if you can't dock stuff to it, like pods and such? So we have to have a place to dock our pods to, for getting Kerbals up there, for getting us Kerbanauts up there, and for getting all the supplies that they're not going to need up there. We do need a place to dock them, and so we've got this DryDock. Now, it was kind of designed in the eye of making it like a Star Trek-y kind of feel, and I think it really does that. He said that he didn't want to put too many parts in it. Sorry, he wanted to make it like more Star Trek-y, but he didn't want to risk the part count or something along the lines of that. So I mean, I still think it achieves his goal of looking rather cool and sci-fi-ish. So it looks awesome. But there's one small thing. This does not have any mods on it. Now, it did not have mods on it originally. I have not taken any mods off of it. It just didn't have any mods on the module, on the module. See what I did there? Anyway, right, continuing. So it doesn't have any mods on it, and I was a bit worried. You know, this is a space station that accepts mods openly, and here we've got a module that's brilliant and amazing, but it doesn't have any mods on it. And, you know, I was a bit worried. Should I put this on? Should I not? But I decided just because we can have mods doesn't mean we need them on the space station. I did suggest, although we could stick some, we could stick a robotic arm on, or we could stick some, what's it called? Struts, those quantum struts things, because those two mods would be quite cool in a docking thing, so you could, like, dock it together and then turn on the quantum struts to keep everything stable, or have an arm. I think an arm would probably be more appropriate for this. But the problem with arms is, if you've seen some of Scott Manley's videos and just use the mod anyway, what happens is it tends to just freak out and, you know, blow everything up, and it's I don't want to have to go through the pain and suffering of putting everything back together after it's blown up. So yeah, and also at the time it has this, I think with the update and all, some of the mods aren't working, which is very annoying. So you've got really, you know, iffy patches going on, unofficial patches and such. But I think I'm gonna, it's annoying. I mean, it's kind of put a bummer on the whole mod space station thing, what with the update, but it's fine. Use any mod you like when you're submitting your ship. Now, let's talk about more about this module, this DryDock. Well, it has about 6, 7, 8 docking ports, 8 free docking ports. It's actually got 9 docking ports on it, but one of them is going to be used to dock it to the space station. So we're going to have 8 free docking ports on it. It's designed with 4 super large solar panels, you know, the extra large ones, which is really nice. It's going to create power as well as look rather nifty. It did originally have 6 solar panels on, but I was a bad boy and I took off 2 of them because they were just sticking up, and I was like, but they're just sticking up. I don't see the point. I see the point. They're practical. They are practical, but it looked iffy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. You should punish me. You should say something nasty to me in the comments. I'm asking you right now. Say something nasty about solar panels in the comments. So yeah. Yeah, what can I say? I'm now running on the small engine, or the smaller engine. It's not the LV909, but it's the kind of the big equivalent of that. I can't remember its name at the moment, but we're using that very, very small engine, and we have circularized with that engine and got an encounter. So we get up nice and close with this one. We get very nice and close indeed. And, you know, it's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. At this point, I was kind of worried because what I was planning on doing was pointing up. I forget the name of that vector, but I was pointing up, basically. And I wanted to see if I could get this encounter to be any more close. But I decided right there, I was a bit, nah. And so what I would do is I would just cut to the chase and get a bit closer. I think I do actually do a bit of plane changing here. Yeah, you can see I'm just changing planes to match the orbit, and, you know, I look at this and go, really, do I need to? Yeah, but I end up doing it. I do end up just kind of pointing retrograde relative to the target. Let's just wait for it. I think it's somewhere around here. Am I doing it now? That's me doing it there. You can see on the nav ball. That's me doing it there. So I'm just retrograding it, and I'm now going to point towards my target, and I'm going to burn prograde. Well, prograde, not prograde. Burn towards my target. You know what I mean. I'm just rambling now. That's going to get nice and close. You can see that amazing kind of silhouetted there. I really liked that. It was pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. But yeah, there we go. We're getting nice and close. So, what are we going to do with this? What is the purpose of this DryDock? What are we going to do with it? What is our purpose? Well, I think we should design some SSTOs. Whether you design them or I design them, I'm going to come up with a few ideas. I'm really rubbish at space planes in general, so it'd be a good learning curve for me, anyway, to not only get submissions for space planes, but also get build some myself and try and figure out how to build these things, because your submissions will help me to see what you've done and then incorporate into like my designs and figure out how I can make my designs work, and then it'll also teach me how to fly planes, because if you guys, I bet you guys can make awesome planes. A lot of people seem to like planes a lot more than they do spaceships and space stations and such, but I'm more of a space guy. I like my spacey things. SSTOs are about as spacey as like a baseball. I guess I'm being a wee bit unfair, but yeah. Well, we can dock space planes on at some point. So here we go. We're just kind of eyeballing it here. I do not actually pay attention to my nav ball here, which is very bad, but I'm not paying attention to my nav ball because bang the tripod there. Because what I'm doing is I'm trying to get parallel to it. So I want to do all this parallel to it so that I don't have to mess around with awkward angles and maybe bouncing off the docking port and such. So yeah, I just do some translating with RCS. We have a ton of RCS on this thing. And as I take a sip of water here, that's a good sip of water, very nice on the throat. Right, okay, back to telling you about what's happening. Right, there's nothing much to explain here. It's really just a lot of RCS movement and moving in. I think I thrusted towards it, and then I'm like correcting everything as I come in. And then what I'll do is I'll bring myself in really nice and close, and then I'll stop myself dead, check everything's okay. If something's not okay, as is with most docking procedures, I'll try and correct that a wee bit, and then I'll go in very slowly and dock very, very slowly. That's for an exact docking. See, in this right here, I don't try to go for an exact docking right away. I go for an exact docking after I dock this, which is very annoying because I dock and then I'm like, oh no, it's squint. Because you'll see here, we'll get in nice and close. You'll see right now. Here we go, right? There we go, we've docked. Woohoo! Yes, but problem. Have a look. Yeah, so you see how that squint? Not the best. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of squintiness. So, yeah. You're probably wondering, what are you doing? RCS, no, it's a space station, you're going to die. Ah! No, I'm using RCS so we can get back on the 180-degree marker, so that when I do undock and fix this, it'll still be pointing in the right direction, and so I know what direction to point. So there we go, undocked. Let's spin it around. Unfortunately, we hit it a wee bit, and so we go a wee bit off track. I don't know what it is, but usually when you undock, what happens is you just kind of come back a wee bit, and it's pretty cool. You could just float backwards, and that's all good. But with this thing, it just likes to slide off to the side. It's very annoying and weird. That doesn't usually happen with me. It's confusing. Right, so what am I doing? Burn down and back the way. You'll see I'm pressing all the keys. You can see the RCS firing randomly because I just can't remember which key does what. So you can see I'm not paying attention to the nav ball at this point. I'm just eyeballing it completely. I'm terrible for that. I really should stop eyeballing things. Yeah, mainly because my eyes are like, if I throw my eyeballs at things, it'll hurt my eyes, and I have to reel them back in by the optical nerve and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, a tedious docking, as with most dockings. Now, this is shown at 2 times speed. I think everything in this has been shown at 2 times speed. No. I think the first wee bit was shown at maybe 3 times speed. But yeah, this bit is 2 times, and you can see we finally managed to dock. We turn off that RCS, and it's more or less straight. I did go back and fix it up to make sure it was all nice and straight and it was all good. So yeah, and here is that the space station as of now. Here is the this space station, the Olympus space station, ready to take on many new modules, ready to accomplish great things in the world of KSP. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really love the fact that you've tried to watch this video. And yeah, as we look out over Kerbin in this IVA view that is absolutely stunning, we will ponder the meaning of the universe, life, and everything, and wonder why it is only a number. So yeah, that is me for all, folks. Have a great day. Get those modules submitted in the forums, link in the description below. Subscribe if you will, like the video, comment, all that good stuff that people always ask. I don't know. I guess it does help my channel to grow, help me to, you know, get known. If you think I deserve more views, as some of you have said, then go ahead, share it. Share my videos. I would really, really love it. I've got a wee surprise for you coming up. I am using this mic for a good reason. So, yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.